I was going to say the quantum soup train, but that just didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, it might make sense later.
It might, yeah. Oh, welcome everybody. Good morning. It's Tuesday in December.
Were you going with the quantum soul train?
Sure. Well, because I say quantum soup.
Yeah.
And then train
hungry?
came out and I was like, yeah, that doesn't go, but I'm going to roll with it anyways because I'm a dork that way and it's so okay. Welcome aboard the Sue train. How about that?
Oh, okay, that works.
Oh, we've got a great show. Hey guys, we're taking calls today. We've got the wonderful Nadine joining us. And she and I are going to, yay, we're going to tag team the calls and the intuitive readings, evidential mediumship, see what pops up. And, quite honestly, take what resonates and leave the rest. There's going to be a squeaky wheel. There's going to be something going on that resonates with you, or maybe it irritates you, or it kind of chaps your hide a little bit. I would say lean into that. Check it out. If you want more information about the radio show and myself or Nadine, please sign up for the newsletter. And that's simply www.suelundquist.com/newsletter. And it goes out about once a month or once a week. It talks about the radio show. You get a copy of the radio show. You get all the links to the goodies, the good stuff. We are coming upon the holiday schedule or the holiday scheduling. Hello to the Pacific Northwest. Hello internationally to my YouTubers and of course to the podcast world after this goes live. It's so wonderful to be here with you. Remind you guys, it's a call-in show, so get your dialing fingers going. 1-888-298-5569. Again, 1-888-298-5569. Locally, 425-373-5527. Good morning.
It's always so exciting. It's like my favorite day of the month.
Yeah, I know. So exciting. And if you guys can't see us on Radio World, which you probably cannot, you got to see us on YouTube. I'm loving Nadine's hair. And Nadine, I'm sorry, before we even got live, you were telling Benny and myself the weather. No.
Yeah, it's cold. It's so cold here.
50 below.
Well, today's only in Fahrenheit, it's minus 28 Fahrenheit.
Minus 28. Oh, it's only minus 28. No, that's stay in the house, not going outside. It makes me think of Carmel and all the farm and the animals and
yeah, you still got to do your chores, but all the horses have lots of fur right now. Their hair is really long and puffy. They're pretty cute.
They are. It's so fun to see. I, snoop around and watch the social media. So we're taking calls 1-888-298-5569 locally. I know I went really fast, but pay attention. 1-888-298-5569. And then locally 425-373-5527. It's the holiday. Anything popping for you, Mamacita?
Me. This is a busy time. I cannot go Christmas shopping because there's way too many spirits around.
Yes.
Everybody's poking at me to talk to people in the stores. So guess who's doing online shopping?
It's too cold anyways. You know what? I had that experience the other day because you taught me that lesson. You know what, babe? You got to go find your human, talking to spirit, right? Go find your human. Then we can have that conversation because they were just coming at me and I just didn't. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? You're like, no, sis, just say, go get your human, put up that boundary. And I was talking to a gentleman it was an older gentleman on a trail. I was walking with Levi and literally she was standing right next to me, wanting me to have a conversation with this older guy. And I'm like, he didn't know me from Adam, right? We go into this conversation, right? Nadine's shaking her head and nodding. And because they don't, I'm like, do I? Sometimes I do. I say, hey, listen.
Yeah.
I'm able to cross over and tap in. And if that's something, I've got a message for you, yada, yada, yada. But I was just like, yeah, not in the middle of the woods and nah.
I find that more often than not, people appreciate it. It's what I found, right? And especially you have to ask permission, of course, but most people appreciate it than don't. But for me, it's they know, spirit knows us. Pick your time and place. Why you gotta be pushy? But it's because, we're just tuned into that anyways. So even if it's spirit just thinking about that person, we'll pick it up. Right?
In a hot second.
Or see them with them. But not everything's necessarily for a reading. So, but it is good when they are persistent. That's when you're like, you know what? Find me if you have.
Yeah.
You know where I live.
In a really, really cold place.
In a really, really cold
place.
You know what we always say here? What? Why do I live where the air hurts my face?
Oh my God.
Isn't that funny?
No, that's awful. I mean, it's funny, but it's awful. But it's true. You walk outside and it's so cold. Now you're in Alberta or north of that. Where are you?
I'm in Saskatchewan. So I am east of Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where Carmel's and everything is, I've been out there. So you're the other way.
I'm central. Like I think we're above Montana.
Oh, cool.
Like straight up. Mm-hmm.
When can I come to Canada? I miss being able to go. It's been years. It's just because I would drive over there all the time or fly in.
Well, you can't drive through BC because it's flooded.
Oh, the landscape over there. I saw that.
Our beautiful BC.
It'll be okay.
It's going to be okay. Sending tons of light and love over there. That's for sure.
Yes. Absolutely. Talk about sending lots of light and love. Let's do that to all of you that are listening. It's the holidays. The holidays comes with a whole bag of triggers and emotions, good, bad, or indifferent. They're going to be there. And Nadine, I just want to give you a little extra love bump and have the CCs in life, have compassion, and get really curious. And it'll help take the sting out of said conversation, said trigger. Or you know what, just get up and say, you know what, I need a timeout and walk out of the room.
Sometimes I'd rather deal with the dead than the live.
Oh, you and me both. My goodness. Lots of lessons. Has anything been coming up for you with clients or?
Well, I'm still in the teaching mode. So just
that's right.
But one thing I was going to say about the show is if anyone out there is practicing the healing arts or psychic or mediumship, we love taking questions. Like I love teaching. This is a good time when you have one-on-one with people who do it for a living.
Yeah.
So it's a really good time to just not only if you want a reading, but you can just call in and pick our brains.
Yes, we love talking about this conversation. 1-888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. And it is the first Tuesday of every month. And Nadine and I are bringing this message, this blessing, this healing to you, whatever or however that's going to show up. And yes, we love having the conversation. And I mean, if you want to listen to us conversate, that's fine too. But we also like you to call in and engage with us.
Because readings are fun. We love doing readings. They're fun. Before I forget, I get thoughts in my head and then I lose them because I'm ADHD. But one thing I was going to say about, when we're doing these Christmas parties and having people over and stuff, the best way to bring your family members in that have crossed over is, number one, talk about them lots. That always draws them closer. Putting up pictures of them, like for us, any event we have, we like to have like a setting for them or a photo of them in the room, just to like invite them in.
Tap in, yeah.
And like you said, this time is like the veil, because we're thinking of our loved ones so much, it thins the veil. We have so much energy towards them right now that it's easier for them to come across. So trust that they're there. Trust those feelings. If you're thinking about them and they're there. So
Yeah,
just to trust that they're there.
I was just having this conversation with a colleague yesterday and explaining the analogy, and you've heard me use this before, the analogy of how close spirit is to us. I mean, and I use the kind of sheer shower curtain because the veil is right there. It's just a frequency that you tap into. Everybody has the ability. It's whether you choose to or not is the question.
And trust too.
Permission and trust. Yeah. Trust. So say, for example, you're thinking about a loved one, your dad, and all of a sudden, and you're having that thought and a song comes on and it just busts your heart wide open. Guess what? That is a message from dad saying, I love you. I'm here. Let's jam to the song or something.
And sometimes sometimes they have to slap you in the face with their messages, and other times they're very subtle, right? Like it's very subtle messages, but most of the time they're like, and then you go, oh, that reminds me of my dad. Boom. That's because it's supposed to.
It is. Or maybe there was a smile in a complete stranger and you're like, oh, that reminded me of my sister, or, XYZ. That's a message. Honor it. Trust. Go back to the trust conversation for sure.
And one of the best things that Carmel ever taught me about giving readings is that as soon as I start a reading, so this is for, people who are doing this, as soon as you start that reading, everything you hear, see, smell, feel is now a message. So if you're trying to build your trust and really learn how to trust yourself, as soon as you're in that reading mode or that meditation to connect, I need people you got to trust every little thought, even if it seems ridiculous, every feeling in your body. It's all about awareness, right? Being in the moment, because they will use every part of you in order to connect. So like this morning when I'm getting ready, my tattoo is showing, right? And I looked at it and I thought tattoos. And I thought, oh, I bet we're going to have a show that, incorporates some tattoos. Right.
Right.
But my tattoo is for my dad and my husband. And so as soon as, and everything happens for a reason. So as soon as I saw it, I thought they're here with me. And there might be tattoo, I'm trying to put the puzzle together. Okay, so they're here with me. And maybe there's going to be memory tattoos that come through today in the show.
Maybe. Who knows?
Right? At least it puts it in my mind and I trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love this conversation about trust because it's like, and I'm going to, I also have a conversation with spirit and say, hey, if I'm doing an evidential mediumship, if I'm doing a reading, I'm like, you've got to give me so much validation that I know for certain I'm not pulling it out of the dark area, not the spirit world. But seriously, give me so much validation, give me a name. And there's been so many times that they've given me a name and I'm like, whoa, thank you. It's been amazing.
I know, you're so good like that. I love that. And the thing is that, because we need to trust ourselves. We need the validation for ourselves.
Totally.
It's for the client, for sure. You need that for the client, but we also need it for ourselves because it's how we know we're connecting.
Yep.
Right. If things aren't hitting, it means we have to raise our vibration. We might have to slow down and really, slow down the reading and really listen and feel. So it's also good for us. We need that validation just as much. Yeah. Absolutely.
I get into, the CCs, I get into that playful mode, I get playful with them. I'm like, you got to show me. And this was yesterday. They were showing me, I was with a friend and they were showing me, I'm like, this again, trusting because it doesn't make sense to me. And you and I have had this conversation before. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm going to say it anyways. Lizards, like iguanas. Why is this coming up? And he's like, I don't know. So somewhere, somehow, and then it came out, Dad said, look for the lizards. Anyways, who knows where and when it will show up, but it will.
We're just the messengers.
We're just the conduit, just the messengers. Yes.
So however that shows up in their life. And sometimes, I've had readings from other mediums and, I trust what they're saying and and just go about my business. And some of the things don't come up for a year later. And then also I go, and then it'll flash before my eyes. Oh my goodness. She said that would happen. And then it does, right? So you never know. Time, they don't care about time over there. There is no
There's no
time.
time. Yeah. They're just
Time
like, yes, it's going to happen. And I had a friend who literally called me and said, Sue, and this was like a year and a half later, what you said, my mom, so it was grandma, about the daughter and some schooling and stuff. And it's coming true. It came true. And I'm like, it's a year and a half later, 2 years later or something. But yeah, but I loved that the human called me and said, it came,
I know.
That is so nice.
Nice. Yeah, that's so nice. I know. And sometimes people are like, remember when you said and did it, and I'm like,
nope.
Like, because a lot of times I don't, because I'm channeling, right?
Yeah.
I'm channeling. So lots of times I'm the voice of that person, but it doesn't necessarily, I sometimes I don't remember the details because I'm so focused in the connection. But I love it. Like, I mean, I love the feedback, of course.
Yeah.
But I also trust that everything I said is going to come true. I trust it.
Yeah, totally. And it's,
I went to got it.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, exactly. It's so trusting.
But still, they have to take from it what they want, right? Like if there's, if I've gotten a read, even when I read my own cards, if there's something I don't like about my cards,
yeah,
I pull another one. So sometimes I choose not to trust.
Yes. And then there's a whole disclaimer bubble in that, because we're going to learn either way, when we don't listen and when we do listen. Yeah. And us as humans, we think that it's got to be this contraction, it's got to be hard. And the harder I work, the harder I fight, the better it's going to be. But in reality, that's not it. Catch yourself, be in that state of awareness that, you know what, it's supposed to be in grace and ease. It's supposed to be easy. Yeah.
Can we do a question from my Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, because I found this one really interesting. This comes from Karen, and she's in Alberta, and she says, is it crazy that I can talk to plants?
No, not at all. I love that. They have just as much energy. Right? I just had Groog. I am Groog.
I am Groot. And I thought that'd be a really good question for you, because I know you spend a ton of time in nature.
Oh, the rocks, everything. I mean, the crystals, we know this, nature, land, trees, I smell them, I hear them, I sense them. It's very tactile for me. I love being out there, and you can hear them, and there's some are wise, some are young. Some, it's beautiful. Yes, please.
And because they are energy, right? They're everything. All it is tuning into the frequency of the plants, of the animals, of the humans. You're just tuning into that frequency. And I always say, like, my favorite thing in the world to do is, I'm a tree hugger. I just am. I just love trees, and there's nothing to me that grounds me faster than hugging a tree.
Oh, totally. Completely. Getting out in nature and smelling the bark and the earth. And and when I go to new places, I grab earth. I grab the earth or the bushes and I smell it to ground in, and so juicy.
Nature is such a cure. But that's a really good question, because don't feel like you're crazy if you think the plant just talked to you.
It did.
Well, anyone who loves plants would know this, because people talk to their plants all the time, right? They say, well, that experiment they do where they had the two plants, right? So it's not only how the plant talks to you, it's how you talk to the plant. So that there's that exchange of energy. So if I'm talking lovingly to my plant and it affects it, obviously they talk back to us. Right? And mine usually say, please water me, I'm dying.
Or you watered me too much.
I can't have plants. I can have trees or fruit things, but me and like a plant, I don't know what it is. I don't have that green thumb.
My green thumb is leaving all of those beautiful plants out in Mother Earth to blossom and flourish.
Yes. But it makes sense how they say like the wise old tree or the wise old oak.
Oh,
Like in Pocahontas, how she has the mother tree that she talks to. But that's why
Avatar. Yeah, all of it.
everybody's been connecting since the beginning of your rocks can talk to you. That's why people read rocks or read stones or even tea leaves. Again, that's a plant that will talk to you. So there's lots of different ways that nature talks to you. And even when you're in that nature and you're zenned out, like, because it's so peaceful and beautiful in nature, so you really are connecting to yourself, your soul, your guides, your angels. Everybody can come through in that because you're so tranquil in that peace in nature. Get outside.
Yeah. Just not 25
Just not
below.
Just not me, because I will freeze to death.
Yes, your eyelashes will freeze. No, I don't want to do that either. Yeah, in Bend, it's sunny and beautiful. It's cold though. It's snowing up in the mountains, which we needed, but it's so beautiful. I'm looking to see what the degrees is here in Bend. Well, it's 37 degrees right now. So it's warm compared to you.
Sue, it's funny we're talking here, but horses keep coming through really strong for me. Horses, and it's about the meaning of the horse. Do you have cards, like animal cards there?
Yes.
Today? Is there a horse in there?
I didn't pull an animal card today, but I certainly will do it right now.
Maybe it just means that. Let's see what. Oh, see, watch and wait.
A seahorse, not any of the other ones.
Oh my God, it just clicked in. Oh my God, that's a horse. That I didn't even get it at first. I was like, oh.
I love us. Maybe
I don't know. But I see horse, and you think horse, running horse,
right.
and the seahorse. What does it mean?
It means watch and wait. So collect more information on said situation.
Okay,
for sure. Yeah. Is there a situation that you
show people how thick that deck is? What are the odds?
Look at that. Seahorse.
This is the perfect example, though, how spirit will show you one vision, but you have to, it's a clue. It's not always exactly a horse. I might see a horse running through a pasture because that's how I connect to horses.
Right.
Sue's by the ocean, so maybe it comes across as a seahorse for her, but the symbolism is still the same. So even though I see a horse and someone says, no, that doesn't connect, maybe now I have to say things like, what about a seahorse? Because, I never even think about a seahorse because I don't live by the sea. But that's a really good lesson for me just now.
And a great aha. I'm looking it up. Keep talking, babe.
But what it comes down to is when we get signs and symbols, it's not always a direct. Sometimes it's direct, but it's not always direct.
Yeah, sometimes it's charades.
That's why when I'm giving a reading, I will sometimes pick a symbol apart so that it can tune in for the person, because it's just as much a puzzle for us as it is the person sitting across from us. And sometimes spirit, when the frequency is really, really strong, they can send us direct messages. And sometimes with the, because sometimes people don't understand with the frequencies is it can go in and out during a reading. It can be really strong and it can go down because we're trying to match our energies. They're probably better at matching energies than I am because I'm a human. So I have to really bring up my energy. But like, let's say it's a spirit that doesn't quite know how to bring their energy down to meet me. It's a lot harder to get that frequency together. And then sometimes I get a spirit who's so strong that I just can sit back and relax.
Well, that was another thing that you taught me too, love, was if you're an extrovert as a human.
Yes.
You're going to be an extrovert as that spirit, meaning the conversations, it'll be easier for our frequencies to tap in and engage. So let me read to you what the seahorse spirit, it says, hovering gracefully, the seahorse observes with the perspective of one who is not engulfed by the drama. How perfect is this with the whole holidays and everything that we were just talking about at the top of the hour, right? So don't be engulfed by all the drama, remaining at a distance from all turbulence. Seahorse spirit appears at this time to remind you the need to be neutral and gain perspective. So if you're hearing this for the first time, maybe it's not about family. Maybe you have a business opportunity or a contract or something that's been noodling. Take a minute, get some more information. Don't jump into it. Look at the perspective. Don't get spun up in the drama or the sparkly things. Spirit wants you to know that even if you're tempted to jump into the fray to try and fix things, the best way to serve yourself and others right now is to remain calm and simply watch and see. Be the observer.
I needed that message because I'm a fixer.
Yeah.
I'm a fixer, and I get in trouble for sometimes my sister, people say, you don't have to fix it. I'm just venting.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I'm automatically want to fix everybody and everything because I feel like I can't. Oh, well, if you just do this and this, right? I'm so used to giving readings and advice and counseling or whatever.
Okay. So that's not only was that for you, you ready for this? Because this is the card that I pulled pre. So I think this is all for you, baby. Dear you, do you feel like that you need to do all the work and fix everything for everyone? Or you might have not any value. I swear to God, this is the card that I pulled. And then you're talking about the seahorse. Okay, here we go. Maybe you think you need to control everything or else nothing will get done, be healed, be completed, etc. You may think you need to conform to what others expect of you or choose a course of action to manipulate an outcome, but will not think they don't think that would be a good choice at this point. How about this? So this could be a tool or a change in, and after we do this, we'll jump on a commercial break. Even if it makes you temporarily uncomfortable, change always makes one uncomfortable. Do something different. Set that boundary. Look at them. I love you, Nadine, but look at this. Delegate responsibility to another. Ask your needs to be met. And when faced with an impossible situation or sticky, enmeshed relationship, repeat this mantra. I didn't cause it. I can't control it. And it's not my job to cure it. Boom.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think this was all for you, babe.
Not just me.
All right. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Nadine and I are going to continue goofing off and loving on you on YouTube. All you got to do is go to YouTube and type in 11:50 a.m. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll come back. Thanks, Benny.
All right. All clear.
Can you believe that?
Every time we do this, I'm in shock. That's the joy.
And I love pulling the cards pre. So there's that spin of validation, it's the same.
There's always it almost like it sets the theme, or what the theme's going to be. Like, it's wild.
And then out of this whole deck, come on, the seahorse.
I know, but talk about validation. We're just. Do you have an animal deck? Maybe you should. Bang.
Bam.
What?
And then the card that I pulled prior to, boundaries and not being the fixer and the seahorse. And
I just said
guess
that.
What, baby? That's all for you.
I would just said that to you, how I always feel like I got to fix everything. And then you're like, whoa, hold on. Well, and here, what we were saying, like with the holidays and stuff, someone like me who's like a mediator all the time, it's hard because, this person's fighting with that person, or maybe this person doesn't want to come because they don't get along with that person. And I'm always trying to like smooth everything over for everyone so they all get along. And that's not my job.
No.
Right? Like, if you don't want to come, don't come, or like, don't
That's
get
on
involved.
you. Don't get me wrapped up in the drama. No
Yes.
fixing. No
Yeah.
fixing.
Yeah, but guess
Yes.
what? The drama always comes to the fixer.
Well, then stay out of it. If
Yes.
you're out of it, then you won't get it. No
And then what
drama.
does that card said about expectations, right? When people have expectations of you,
Oh,
and then you put up that boundary, like, it's amazing. Like, when you put up a boundary, you see, so when, if you want to know somebody really well, put up a boundary. You'll find out exactly who that person is. Like, if you put, I talk about this all the time. If you put up a boundary with me, I would never cross that boundary ever again. You tell me once, it's done. Like, the boundary's up. I will never cross that boundary. Where there's other people, no matter how many boundaries you put up, no matter how you state it, or they want to push that boundary, push that boundary, push that boundary. And I think, what is it about them that thinks that's okay
yeah.
to do it to me, right? Like, what is it, or why do people not adhere to boundaries? What is it about them? Maybe you can answer that. What is it about people who don't listen to other people's boundaries? Who are they? Why do they do these things?
Really good question. Let's answer it because I think we're
Megan?
coming back from commercial. Yes.
Because I don't know. You're good like that. You taught me boundaries, Sue. You did. I'm really good at them now. I'm just saying.
Good. Are we live, Benny?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, I love that song. Oh, I love that song. All right. During the commercial break, we were on YouTube and we were talking about the irony and the validation. You know, I pull cards prior to just to see where the theme may pop up, if it does. And lo and behold, Nadine says, well, wait a minute, there's horses or something's going on. Do you have an animal deck handy? I'm like, well, yeah, just as a matter of fact, I do. Now, if you guys could see this on the YouTube, you see how thick this deck is. I would say that's probably 2 inches, don't you think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So out of this animal deck, the one that pops out is the seahorse. Crazy. And it's all about watching and waiting and boundaries we learn. And then there was the card that I pulled prior to the show. And again, it's all about, and Nadine was just saying that she has a tendency to be the fixer, the mediator, all of that, right? And the cards are saying, you don't have to do that anymore. It's their responsibility. And then during the break, I'm going to swing this all back around. We were talking about boundaries, and while there's people that will respect them, there's also people that will not. And there's also that tricky word expectation. You expect somebody to show up a certain way. And if you're in the dialogue or in the dance with like family members, and they're the ones that are not listening to the boundaries, you've got to, and it's then a lesson for you to say, all right, I've really got to stand up for myself because this old habituation, this old way of doing things isn't working. So you can have that conversation. You can just say exactly what I said. Hey, listen, I love you. This relationship is important enough for me to bring this up. You're crossing the boundary. This is the boundary I've asked you about multiple times.
Yeah.
Can we have that conversation why you feel it's okay to keep crossing that boundary? Get curious, get compassionate, get curious, get compassionate. If in fact the relationship's important to you.
Right.
If it's not deep and authentic and genuine for you, bless them and let them go. Let them go. Even if it's a family member, just because it's a mom or a dad or a sister or brother doesn't mean that has to have a relationship, that expectation. Yeah.
I never even thought to ask people why they keep crossing boundaries.
And maybe they're so spun out in their discomfort, they don't even see it.
And they also have certain expectations of me, and
the habituation, yeah.
And that I will bow to the boundary again. Yep. Right? Like they always say, you teach people how to treat you, right? And so they know if I just keep pushing and pushing, she'll drop that boundary.
Yep.
Like her boundaries mean nothing. It's just she doesn't mean anything by them because I can push right through them.
Yep.
And she'll give in again and she'll give
Yep.
in again. And so I'm teaching people that it's like
No.
if they throw a temper, it's like a kid. If they throw a temper tantrum enough, mom will give me what I want.
Right.
So it's kind of, yet, yeah, I got to get better. I'm much better than I've been, but in certain situations, it's hard. Another thing about the fixing, being a fixer. So I always want to fix everything and I'll jump right in. I'll save you. I'll do everything for you. Right. And my daughter and my sister and my best friend have really taught me about not being a fixer. So they'll say to me, if they want something fixed, they'll let me fix it. But lots of times they just want to vent and they don't need me to fix anything. So at the beginning of the conversation, they're so cute. They'll say, Nadine, I'm just venting. I don't need you to fix anything. Just listen. And then because I have that disclaimer, I'm like,
just loving, just being the observer. I know.
And that's important. And I'm glad but I love that they do that with me. They've set a boundary right out the gate.
Yeah. And there's effective, kind, respectful communication going on.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't want that, right?
Absolutely. I just love it.
Yeah. Who doesn't? I love that these cards popped up for you, my dear.
So I just saw airplanes. Airplane just flew by in my mind.
Yeah.
So do you have a trip planned?
Yes.
Where are you going? Somewhere hot and warm like Florida? Where?
Cabo. Yes, I don't have my kids this Christmas. Ugh, it hurts. But I'm gonna go to Cabo and drown my sorrows in the beach in the sandy, hot Mexican sun, and then I'll fly in through SeaTac.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I mean, there's a big heart pull for me. The tradition of family and being around all that. I miss it.
Your dad just said, I'll be there with you.
Oh,
no problem. I'll be there with you. That's what I heard really strong. Your dad come through.
Oh, thanks.
That's so
God.
cute.
Yeah. We just had another. Oh, I forgot about saying that. I am a great aunt again for the second time. So it's my niece who just gave birth to her second daughter, and
Wow.
Willow Grace. Congratulations.
Oh.
Isn't that a beautiful name? Willow Grace.
Such a beautiful. Well, my daughter's Liliana Grace.
Yes.
I love that.
Bill, yeah.
I just saw Footprints in the Sand. That isn't there a poem or something called Footprints in the Sand? Because when I was talking to your dad, that's what he said to me about you being lonely and missing is footprints in the sand, but I don't know. Aw, cute.
I know. This is the card that kind of popped out after the seahorse. And now look at what you're talking about. You'll never be alone. That's the footprints in the sand.
And that's what you were just saying, how you were feeling like you're going to be without family and da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to look up what that poem is though, because
God grant me the serenity or is that one or the footprints in the sand? I used to have that poem growing up. I don't have it anymore.
What is it here? It's quite long.
It is, but it's beautiful.
Okay. So it says, footprints in the sand. One night I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord, or higher power. Many scenes from my life flashed across the sky. In each scene, I noticed footprints in the sand. Sometimes there were 2 sets of footprints, other times was only 1. This bothered me because I noticed that during the low periods of my life, when I was suffering from anguish, sorrow, or defeat, I could see only 1 set of footprints. So I said to the Lord, you promised me, Lord, that if I followed you, you would walk with me always. But I have noticed that during the most trying periods of life, there has only been 1 set of footprints in the sand. Why, when I needed you the most, have you not been there for me? The Lord replied, The years when you have seen only one set of footprints, my child, is when I carried you. Such a, I got goosebumps all over.
Oh.
And you can substitute Lord for higher
Higher power,
or
Gus,
your
whatever you
dad.
want. Yes.
Dad.
Yes, totally. Thank you.
However that resonates, it's such a beautiful message that even though we can't see spirit or see our loved ones, or, you know, it doesn't mean they're not there helping us and carrying us and working behind the scenes, even when we feel so alone.
Yes. And you know, and I think you and I've had this conversation. I love being alone, but I'm not alone. Because I'm trusting and talking to the trees, to the animals, to Levi, to myself, to spirit, and just surrendering into that trust. I love it.
I always say that. How can I ever be lonely when I'm surrounded by so many, my animals talk to me all day, people calling me all day, the trees can be talking to me, you know, I'm so inundated with conversations.
Look at all of that hair.
Oh,
isn't she just a
look at all those cheeks?
I know.
Oh, and what a time
baby.
What a time to be born. Her first Christmas right out the gate.
Right. And her grandpa's birthday is next week, I think. So just almost a birthday. He got an early birthday present.
Merry Christmas to all the first Christmas babies out there. This is so exciting.
Do I dare say COVID babies? That sounds awful. But it's true, you know, what have you been doing for the last
COVID?
Trapped in a home. Well,
well, they're born at the hardest time, but you know, but they're so blessed, right? Because maybe they wouldn't have been here without COVID.
I know. Everything has a message. Everything has a message. You're not alone.
I love new beginnings and to see the, like, it's so exciting, baby's first Christmas. It's so exciting to have any kid's Christmas. I always say, you know, I didn't worry about Christmas until I had my daughter. And then all of a sudden Christmas came to life again for me. So I got to experience that as a kid. And then I got to, you know, believe in Santa for her too.
I love this conversation because I was watching a really beautiful updated movie the other night. And for me, and the way I communicated to the kids, you know, especially with the conversation about Santa, I'm like, I absolutely believe in the spirit of Christmas. Every year, it's the spirit, it's the love, it's the generosity, it's the abundance. It's all about that and the compassion and that spirit, that energy. Take all of that with you guys.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, the spirit of it all, you know.
It is
the name Mary or Marie keeps coming through for me. Marie or Mary. Does that make sense to you at all? Is there someone Marie or Mary or a namesake in the family maybe? Marie. It could be a middle name. Marie. It's like M-A-R, like Mary or Marie. Or it could just be a message for somebody out there with the name Mary or Marie, or both Mary and Marie. It's a message of believing in yourself, believing in the magic of life, and believing in the magic of the season. So if your name is Mary or Marie, this message is for you and anyone else who wants to take it, but specifically for Mary and Marie, because for some reason that's what's coming to me. So it's about believing in yourself and believing in magic. And when I say magic, that means beauty, energy, love, whatever magic means to you, you know, things lining up. So they talk to me at the same time. Believe in miracles, believe in magic, believe that good is happening and good is coming, and you deserve it.
Deserve it. Be a
Deserve it.
receiver.
Yes.
A lot of that.
Yes.
A lot of conversations about the big permission slip. Just receive. It's okay. No shame, no guilt. Don't block it. Don't do any of that. Just receive it. Receive
And that's a
it.
big message for Christmas. See, I love giving presents, but I have a hard time receiving. Like, I love it. I've gotten better at it. Like, I'm very thankful, right? It's not that I'm not thankful, but I just feel like I don't need it or something, like, because I don't. I just need you and turkey. Just kidding.
And lots of potatoes and gravy.
Yeah. See, my family's really good because, growing up, we only ever had like one or two presents. It wasn't a big, we didn't have a ton of money or whatever. So we just had little, and I think Christmases were smaller back then. Like, kids didn't expect a whole bunch. And I think it's just gotten so out of control. But my family's really good. We're all about getting together or not. But we don't put too much pressure on ourselves for Christmas. It's just too much stuff.
Right.
Like, I start to panic. My daughter's an only child. So by the time she gets grandma and grandpa on both sides and aunties and uncles and everyone buying for her, I can only ever get her one thing because she's already getting 10 things. And right now I'm decluttering, and I do it every December at this time. I start getting rid of stuff because I'm like, I'm going to panic if any more comes in.
Oh, completely. I am so with you on that. I've been walking into my closet going, oh my God.
Christmas purge, you guys.
Christmas purge. Yes. Get rid of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Another thing I was going to say, I know I volunteer for the food bank here all the time. And I also volunteer for their empty stockings, which gives food and presents to, families in need. So give that gift to people. Like, it doesn't always have to be materialistic. Like, make a donation in somebody's name, volunteer, do things like that, because with COVID, we need it more than ever. Like, I don't know about where you guys are, but up here we are in a food shortage and more and more people without work and stuff, like, so it's pretty desperate this Christmas compared to most. So yeah, if you were really thinking, what should I do for someone this Christmas, or give a gift in someone's name or donation in someone's name, I mean, we have so much stuff, people. We are so consumers.
Much stuff. I hear ya. So much stuff. I have a tap in question for you. I'm going to say one word, and you feel into it and say if it's for you. It's an opportunity for me, and I'm wondering if you feel, or if you tap into spirit, that you feel that spirit's behind me.
Yes, I heard yes before you even.
Oh,
as soon as you started talking, I heard a great big yes.
Okay. Y6. That's all I'm going to give you. A
Y6?
Yeah,
Y6.
I'll talk to you offline about it.
Okay. I just hear yes.
Okay. Before I even said it. So that's what I have been hearing, and I'm hearing it'll all come together in January. And it's nice. Yeah. Everything will come together in January. I'm just
magic.
Yeah. And again, it's me sitting back in the now.
Do you see what's above your head? You just leaned back for the first time.
You are magic. Oh my God.
This is all we talked about: truth, love, and trust, and magic. And you and I are just reading each other today.
But it's a good message for anybody who's listening, and a reminder: boundaries with human and boundaries with spirit world. That's always, totally.
I can't even believe you leaned back and I saw that.
Twink.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And that's because we trust everything that we see.
Yes, songs, everything. Yeah. From birds to chirping to songs to heart rocks to
Trusting the plants are talking to you, trusting that the animals are talking to you, trusting that spirit's talking to you, those sign symbols as always. Have you ever seen when they put a microphone up to like a dandelion?
yes. So cool. So cool.
I can't believe how much plants sing and stuff. It's crazy. But you know, lots of people who like talk about near-death experiences and stuff. This is what I always tell people. If you want to learn about the other side, read and read and read about near-death experiences. Because one thing they always say is how musical heaven is.
Mm.
And they can't even describe the music because it's so beautiful. The color, there's no words on earth that can describe how beautiful it is on the other side, right? But they always talk about music. But look what music can do. Like music can take you back to when you're 14 or 15 or a child, or music is like a time warp. Talk about going back in time or time travel. You know, nothing makes you travel through time faster than music. Right? And think good or bad.
Oh yeah.
There's some songs I don't want to hear.
Yeah. So, and that was coming up for me because there have been traumas and mourning aspects, and this is important. And during that time frame, a song would come up, and now all of a sudden I'm driving in the car and I'm getting this residual feeling of a past trauma. So what I say to all of you, if this resonates, bring that up and release it and let it go. Fill it full of love. Just, there's no reason for you to be holding on to that bag. Whatever that bag looks like, define it however you want. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. I feel like I have to say, let it go. Let it go.
It's like that Frozen song. Let it go.
No.
Everything's coming back to winter over here.
It is, man. Burr, babe. No, honey. Stay warm.
You know, we have to like run our vehicles for an hour before we can get in them.
What?
At least half an hour. Like we'll run our vehicle for half an hour and it'll still be cold when we get in it.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
See, I miss the West Coast. I miss Vancouver.
Yes. You can always
so much closer to you then.
Yes. Yes. Well, we've got a couple more minutes, guys. Nadine and I will not be together until January 2022. It's going to be an amazing year.
Oh my goodness. Happy New Year to everybody. Merry Christmas.
Oh, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Whatever that is to you, listen to the messages, see them, hear them, smell them, sense them, talk about them, bring them into the conversation. They meaning spirit is right there with you, loving on you as always. Always love and light, always white light.
Believe in magic.
Compassionate curiosity. You don't have to be the doer of all things.
No.
Boundaries.
You don't need to fix it.
No fixing, baby. You got the seahorse and the otter spirit at your back, helping you along. All right. With that, Benny, and to all the KKNW family, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Well, Benny, I'll obviously see you next week, but for you, Miss Nadine in Canada and all across the world, love you, darling. And we'll see you January of 2022. And with that, I'll see the rest of you guys next week. And until then, each of you are a gift. Get out there and share yourself with the world.